Greetings and welcome, friends. Me and my algebra buddies are here. We're talking about graphing absolute value graphs, functions. There we go. And one of the ways we did this was using what was called vertex form. Vertex form was of the form, I guess I'll use f of x or y equals a times the absolute value of x minus h close abs plus k. And the following information we were able to gather from this, where a ended up kind of being our slopes, if I think of plus or minus whatever a is. When a is positive, it was an opening up absolute value graph. When a was negative, it was reflected over the x-axis and opened down. The h and k represented our vertex. So our vertex was at h comma k, and the thing you had to be aware of was that it was the opposite of the number next to the x for your x coordinate of the vertex, and it's the same as the y. So for the following, what is the value of a? Yeah, a is going to equal the 1 over 2 here. What's the value of h? Positive 6, I like it. And k is going to equal 0, right? I threw that plus 0 there just to emphasize it. So that means my vertex is going to be at 6, 0, Amity. So let's start by plotting at our vertex, up 6, left and right 0, and then we move by our slope of 1/2. So I'm going to go up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2. And then absolute value graphs are a V shape, so I can also find points by going up 1 and backwards 2, up 1 and backwards 2, up 1 and backwards 2. And Devin, the other way I could find those points is if I considered the fact that an absolute value graph is said to be symmetric. It is a mirror over the line x equals h, which will show you that line in a moment. Question, comment, observation? Another way to do the graph or the axis of symmetry? Oh, no. Wait a minute. No! Mr. Waddy was wrong with the save! Amity Math on YouTube is the one you want. Wow! Wow, Mr. Waddy with the errors. I did do it wrong. 6, 0. What? That's the x and then the y. Wow, thank you. Thank you, my friends. Friends tell each other the truth, even when it's corrective, you know, because that's why we care about each other, you know? So, up 1 over 2, right? Faithful are the wounds of a friend, deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. So, let's see. Here we go. Let's graph this for realsies. So, yeah, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Here we go. Whoop, whoop. All right, there we go. And so to answer your question, there is not more than one way to graph that. There was a right way and a wrong way, and I was wrong. And then, like I said, there is an axis of symmetry. So it's like kind of the mirror line, gentlemen. It's a mirror line. Actually, you can right here. And the way you can find the axis of symmetry, is it's going to be an equation x equals a number, and it's always x equals the h. So x equals 6 is the vertical line that has 6 as its x coordinate for every single point. And notice that all of these points are mirrored over that line. All right, let's keep cruising. I've been wrong once. Let's see how many times I can be wrong again. So here we go. It says, compare the graphs, find the value of h, k, or a. So the parent function is in the white here. I'm trying to find this child function's value of h. So it appears as though to go from the white graph to the orange graph, it was shifted over to the right. And how many units to the right was that, Jimmy and Amity? Yeah, it looks like it was over 1, and you'd have to use the scale to figure that out. And so h is equal to 1. H is equal to 1. Notice that their formula already has the minus sign in it. So the equation would have been t of x is equal to the absolute value of x minus 1, but h is equal to the positive 1, moving it to the right side there. Over here, we're multiplying by a, and it appears as though this point was at 3, now it's at 1.5. This point was at 2, now it's at 1. This point was at 1, now it's at 0.5. What appears to have happened between all of these points? I think they were all like half as high as they used to be, right? Half. And therefore a vertical smoosh is found by doing a equals 1/2. A vertical smoosh happens whenever the value of a is between 0 and 1. All right, so that's what the function would have been. You could have called this w of x is equal to 1/2 abs x. All right, also notice that the slope of that would have been up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, if you want to think about it in terms of slopes instead of transformations. And let's see. Similar idea, except now we're visualizing it. A vertical stretch by a factor of 3. That tells me a is equal to 3. And then it says a reflection in the x-axis. So that's like it was facing up and now it's facing down. That means that a is actually going to equal -3. So the given transformations would have been represented with an a value of 3, and my function would have been, I guess I could make a new name. H of x is equal to -3 times the absolute value of x. So that's going to be a vertical stretch by 3 and reflected upside down. You could think of the slope as being down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, as well as down 3 backwards 1. All right. 2 more problems I got. 34. Let's find the value of a, h, and k. What's the a? It's an invisible 1 in front of the absolute value. H is going to be -4, because it's the opposite of that. And k is going to equal this 4. K keeps its sign. So the vertex is going to be at -4, 4, and let's see if Mr. Waddy can graph this correctly. So that would be left 4 and up 4 for my vertex. And the slopes are 1. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And up 1 backwards 1, right, up 1 backwards 1, like so. Or you could just mirror those over the axis of symmetry. Which, the axis of symmetry, the AOS, is going to be the equation x equals -4. Yeah, don't get distracted by your food today. You also could imagine, right, the vertical line here, but let's just graph the abs val. Actually, hey, I've got the right color selected. Tell you what, I'll make the axis of symmetry first. Wow, that was a good sneeze. Make sure you add that to your dubstep remix of Waddy's macro edit from all my videos combined. That was a good one. Make sure we timestamp that. One time, my buddy and I, back in the day when I was your age, we would try to accentuate the end of our sneezes with a good achoo at the end of it. And we would try to sneeze like that and just really have a great sneeze, right? And so one time when we were working, washing dishes, he had a big sneeze coming and he's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And he goes, achoo, and like turns to the side, and this poor waitress walked by right then in that moment, and he sneezed, not like spray, not a misting of boogers, but like visible mucus, like fluid mucus all over this poor woman, and she was quite disappointed. So when you're sneezing, friends, be careful. That's all I'm saying. Right? Have fun with the sneeze, but yeah, be careful. Other people are in the room, you know? So let's see. So H is the opposite of that number. That means my vertex, man, that's not a good V. Vertex is the point, -1, 4. So I'd go, how would I plot that point, guys? Where do I go from the origin? Where's negative 1, 4? Because I already made this mistake once. All right, yeah, left 1 and up 4. Thank you. And my slopes are negative 3. So down 3 over 1. Are you guys a master at this problem? Yeah. And down 3 backwards 1. Down 3 backwards 1. And you can get plenty of points. And what's wonderful about knowing a pattern, being able to use your slopes, is that you don't have to create a horrible table of values to get a whole bunch of information. You can actually calculate these things rather swiftly, which is a wonderful thing in the world of math. Oh, wrong color. To be able to do that. Right, mathematicians, we are an efficiently lazy people. We want to be able to recognize patterns and minimize work, do the least amount of work for the, right, most amount of work for the least amount of effort. There we go. Question, comment? So there's your graph. Could someone tell me what the axis of symmetry is here? No? No? So the axis of symmetry would be the mirror line right there. What would the equation of that line be? You guys remember the equations of vertical lines? It's been so long since we mathed. It's going to be x equals negative 1, Amity, right? So you guys will remember that forever now? Hope so. Thank you for watching, Internet friends. Have a great day.